receiver's been a position where teams have found great players in more abundance than ever in recent years. And, I've asked plenty of people about this in the league. The explanation is simple. All those 7-on-7 camps, all those quarterbacks out there developing and throwing passes, someone's catching them. Those players are developing. They're getting better. Last year, 6 first-rounders in the receiver position. 21, there were 5, and 20, there were 6. This year, though, I don't know. How many do you think are going to go? There's only maybe one that is clear-cut, especially because it's almost like the running back position. You're finding receivers at the later rounds. There's no need to reach for a receiver in round 1. How many do you think make it off the board next Thursday night?
I think 4. And the reason is that, look, if you're, let's just say, the New York Giants at 25, you know that you have Wan'Dale Robinson coming back, and you know what a huge threat that he was supposed to be for the whole season last year. And but I still think that if you look at the Giants, regardless of their acquisitions and who they could line up with opening day, I still think the Giants, if I'm looking at them right now, their biggest position of need is wide receiver. And if you are drafting at 25, that is right in the sweet spot of when the Zay Flowerses of the world are going to get picked. It looks as though Jackson Smith-Njigba is going to get picked somewhere, 17, 19, 21, somewhere in there. That's another candidate, I think, for the Chargers. So he's probably, I think he would certainly be picked somewhere in the upper 70% of the first round, somewhere in there, the upper 2/3 of the round. But then after that, I think it becomes a matter of choice. And I think the 2 guys who I feel confident are going to get picked in the round are Zay Flowers of BC and Jordan Addison from USC. I've heard a lot about Jordan Addison this week, Mike, in this way, that I had one general manager say to me, look, this guy caught 100 balls at Pittsburgh with Kenny Pickett in 21. And then he transferred for the first time in his life, steps foot in the state of California, brand new offense. And obviously it's a different thing. He basically, I'm sure that part of his decision, maybe most of it was NIL money, but whatever the whole reason was, he's got to learn a brand new offense and a weird new offense. Obviously much different than the offense he ran at Pitt. And he comes out and he catches, I think, 59 balls, has a bunch of touchdowns, and it really becomes a threat. That plus the fact that he's an engaging guy. He's easy to coach. He wants to be coached. And I think he has shown well in a lot of these off-season interviews and meetings with teams. And I think he and Zay Flowers are probably the best candidates other than Jackson Smith-Njigba to go in the first round.
There was a story that I noticed over the weekend. CBS was reporting that Quentin Johnson, the TCU receiver, wasn't invited to Kansas City specifically because the league wanted to avoid him slipping out of round 1 altogether. And it's hardly an exact science. We've seen guys who sat in that green room a lot longer than expected, but apparently the NFL is sensitive to that now, and that's one of the reasons why Johnson wasn't invited. We're going to take a break. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.